Cardinals get swept by the Diamondbacks coming out of the break. And we're here to be your therapy session, break it all down, vent to us whatever it is you need to do here on Cards Central Postgame, right here on STL Sports Central. All content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Joe Roderick, Grant Salsman with you here on this Sunday night. Grant, not the way that you want to kick off the second half of the year against the Diamondbacks, and things got ugly in a hurry in this one. Final score being 5-3.
Yeah, not the way at all. Got ugly quick. Your bullpen kept you in the game. Pitched very well. The pen offense had some chances. Tacked on a run in the ninth, but bases loaded. No outs, and you only score one runs. Good teams find a way to hang up a crooked number and pick up their starting pitcher. It's tough. It is tough. It's back-to-back seasons now where your hopes were kind of teetering. You were, oh dear. Oh.
It feels that way. Yeah. I feel like yeah, the only way I could have enjoyed that game was, I think, sitting there and watching it from a bar stool. But no, completely sober, just in my Sunday comfy clothes here at the house. You're saying again. It's you take it back to the first inning. Take it back to the very first inning of the game today, and I'm in the car driving, listening to the first inning. And before I think Camo X even came back from break today, Corbin Carroll's already standing on third base with a triple to lead off the game. And then you immediately get the second out, ground ball to Contreras, and the wheels fall off when the next one goes to Donovan, and you try to throw Corbin Carroll out at home. It is the first inning of the game. The first inning of the game, get the outs. Get the outs. If you think, Corbin Carroll more than likely is going to score on that. Corbin Carroll is one of the top 3 fastest players in all of baseball. Get the second out and just be done with it. And just you have 2 outs, nobody on base. Okay, go. You're go from there. Instead, then it goes walk, and then the home run, and then next thing you know, you're down 4-0 in the game. Mm-hmm. And from then on, it just felt like right there, 4-0. This weekend felt like the game was over. Yeah. It felt like the game was over. There has got to be, I don't know where that call comes from. I don't know who it is making those decisions. But in that situation, you just go out there and you go, all right, hey, they're going to score. Okay, Corbin Carroll's probably going to score. He's on third with nobody out. 95% chance that he's scoring here. We're going to give that up. Yeah. So this has nothing to do with, them saying here Michaelis shouldn't have been allowed in that situation. Why are you blaming that on position players? That was on Michaelis. Corbin Carroll has 13 triples on the year. So he's going to hit some triples. He's going to do it. It's, it's just a case of continuing on with this cycle of, putting Michaelis, putting Fetty out there and putting these guys in this situation where, what was your confidence level at when you saw that when Michaelis is even starting in the series?
Yeah. No confidence at all, but yeah, it's the third game in a row in this series where the game was over before it even started. 4-5-0, it seems like every single game they've been down by a crooked number. And, you have base loaded, no outs. You down 4, a chance to, I'm not saying you got to score all 4, but base knock there, sack fly, all of a sudden it's 5-4 and you're right back in the game. The offense didn't take advantage of the opportunities that they had. The bullpen kept you in the game. It's the same thing as last season. I think last season there was less of we get into the playoffs. This season, coming out of it, you're 1.5 back out of the All-Star break and you get swept again. It's inexcusable to start this slow out of the All-Star break rested. Not to take one away. it's very, very disappointing. And that falls on management, I think. I think there's obviously some comments in here that are upset with management saying it's a team game, but to not be able to get your guys ready to come out and play and look this flat out of the break, that's on Ali Marmol. That is 110% on management to not get their guys ready and back up.
Again, Ollie's going out there. I'm having a hard time putting any of this on Ollie. He's going out there, and he's starting the guys that he's being forced to start.
I'm saying to be that lethargic again. Once it's okay, an anomaly, but twice. I'm not even saying that they had to win the games for me not to have this take. It's just that they weren't even competitive in any game this series. Not even today. I know you only lost by 2 runs, but it was a pretty uncompetitive game. Like they looked so lethargic these past 3 games.
Right. And that is leadership on the team. That's locker room leadership, putting, getting the guys focused, ready to go. If you come into the second half of the season, you're 2 games back of a wild card spot and you're not excited to play, you're not ready to play. And that's, nobody can do anything about that. That's, that's on them. It really is. So Michaelis goes out there again, and there are no signs at this point of pulling him from any of these starts. There are no signs of them going anywhere with. There's no signs of going any different direction than Michaelis in the starting rotation right now. And not only that, you're also putting Fedde out there again. And this is what the organization has at the moment. Yeah. Steven Matz gets 1 inning today? He goes out there and pitches 1 inning today. And it feels like you almost have to do that because as of right now, like you have to have him ready to go for Eric Fedde's start on Tuesday in Colorado.
Yeah, 100%. Without a shadow of a doubt, that's what you have to do. And, all of a sudden you're 3.5 games out and it feels like every 2 times every 5 days, you'll be lucky to get 1. It's slipping away quickly. I think any optimism is gone after this series. Even if you go sweep the Rockies, it feels like, the fan base, this is the series that I think makes the fan base give up a little bit.
Yeah. Bill Downtown points out, and this is something we'll dive into as the show goes on here. But Michael McGrevy gets the start tomorrow. They are calling up Michael McGrevy. They're calling it a spot start, which just angers me so much to call it a spot start. No, he needs to be up here and he needs to start every single start moving forward. His last few games down in Memphis have not been good. I would much rather him come up here and do that and learn than continue to waste pitches on his arm down in Memphis over and over and over again. Because if you are going to go out there, if he's going to give you the same stat line that Eric Fedde's giving you day in and day out, I would much rather have him have it be Michael McGrevy that's the one out there doing it than Eric Fedde at this point.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think that the up and down is just a lot on a young player. Maybe if you can just find a little bit of comfort at some level, we might see him settle in too. Because, people think these guys are robots. It's not easy to pitch when you have no idea your next start where it's going to be. You feel like you're pitching for your life every single start. Like, it's hard. So I hope it would be great if they could just say, hey, you're on the roster. You got till September to prove yourself,
And not only that, and this is something I've talked about on other shows too, that you have that calling McGrevy up here and calling him up and then sending him right back down to Memphis is also doing absolutely nothing for him to learn how to be a pitcher at the major league level. It is doing absolutely nothing for him to get called up and then to get sent back down. He needs to be up here for a few full turns of the rotation. He needs to be up here seeing what's happening on the off days. He needs to be up here seeing and getting all use of all the facilities, all of the treatment, all of the major league I guess treatment that he could be getting, all the major league experiences that he should be getting up here, instead of just saying, hey, thanks, all right, we're going to send you back down now, see you again for that. Because it is just wasted after wasted after wasted opportunity and wasted learning experiences that you are trying to give him in this matter. And I wonder when it's going to stop. Which, by the way, what also needs to stop, as multiple people now are also talking about Arenado being gone. I'm sorry. Nolan Arenado today, the double play that he made in the game today was, I mean, for as slow of a human that Nolan Arenado is.
Yeah.
That was such an impressive double play that he made. And as the person points out, Brandon points out, Arenado has a no trade clause. He does. Also, I think it was Redbird Rants, and I think somebody commented on it also earlier, that both Miles Michaelis and Sonny Gray would both use their no trade clause if approached here at the deadline. First of all, who's trading for Miles Michaelis?
Oh, nobody. Well, no, not nobody. Him. Oh, no.
To know just the littlest bit of Sonny Gray, there is no chance that Sonny Gray is moving to a different team, to a different environment halfway through the season.
No.
Absolutely not.
Routine.
Yes, he is all about that routine. It's not going to happen. He's not going anywhere either. And I think the team would even know that they're not going to approach it with that. The big one that would come is Ryan Helsley. That's the big move that's probably going to be happening here. We have our folks at the ready for any kind of trade to bring you a Card Central instant reaction. Yeah, we got it. We have it ready to go for whenever that trade happens, because it would not surprise me if that is a move that happens, I would say, within this week, maybe?
Yeah. No. I think you give it through the Padres series, one, because you never know. You could, let's say they sweep the Rockies, go out, win 3 or 4 against the Padres. But the actual real point is because of the market. You want the market to get set. You want teams. You don't want to sell them right now when teams aren't as desperate. Trust me, July 30th is a big difference between July 20th. That's what I think. Unless you get an offer that wows you right now, I seriously think you wait till, is the deadline the 1st this year or 31st? I don't know the exact date. You wait until within 3 days to sell him.
I will bring up a case in just a second here, but first I do want to remind you that all content here on STL Sports Central is brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Check out the DraftKings Pick 6 app. Use promo code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports. New customers play $5, get $50 in Pick 6 credits. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours. If you had Eugenio Suarez for any amount of home runs today, you probably did well in any of your DraftKings moves. Probably would have been done well in any of his games this series.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promo.
So the reason I bring up, the reason I mention the need to possibly trade Ryan Helsley sooner than later is there was a move made today in baseball to where you are starting to see that market start to shift a little bit. You're starting to see some traction on that. If you missed the news earlier today, veteran reliever David Robertson, the one-time All-Star 2009 World Series champion, David Robertson, who pitched last year in 68 games for the Rangers. the Phillies signed him today.
Yeah.
He is 40. He is 40 years old. There is there's a good chance it's the end of the line for David Robertson, but the Phillies are going to take a flyer on him and see what they can get out of that arm and then move on from there. Bob Nightingale posted that there are 5 teams that are interested in Ryan Helsley. I guarantee you that the Phillies were one of those 5 teams. They very well could be one of those 5 teams.
I don't know if David Robertson means that.
But what I'm saying is you're going out there now and you're starting to load up on arms. Yes. And you're starting to see these teams that know that they're in contention are going to start loading up on more and more arms. And I think that's the start of it. I think you will start to see some of these veteran guys that don't have jobs, or some of these guys that maybe have been recently DFA'd. You'll start to see them, and then you'll start to see lower level guys. But yeah, Ryan Helsley is a top of the line guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
so that's why I'm just saying there is movement on the market.
Yeah, there definitely is, and that's why I still think give it a week or 2. I still do. No, obviously not 2, but a week, 27th, maybe a week from today is when you start looking at. And because I think by the 27th, you'll really know what your team is. Not that you already don't. I'm sorry. You know what your team is. You'll know where you are in the standings for sure. It'll be 3 games against the Rockies, 4 games against the Padres. I'm thinking that they're going to be well out of the contention by Sunday at this time. And Helsley will 100% be on the move.
Yeah, it's he's the one. I mean, as of right now, that's the big move that needs to that's probably going to be getting made.
Call me crazy here. If you're a Cardinals fan and you want the most out of Helsley, maybe you cheer for the team this week. You know, I mean, not that you're not always cheering for them, but instead of maybe hoping they lose so they sell, hope maybe they stay put. You know, maybe you sweep the Rockies, you win 2 against the Padres, you stay within those 2 games. So then teams calling, you can be like, well, hey, even if you have full intent of trading Helsley, saying, well, I don't know, that's tough to give up my all-star reliever when I'm only 2 games out of a playoff spot, compared to if they lose.
If they're not going to give him a qualifying offer, I think playoff spot or not, I think it just needs.
I'm saying from a negotiation standpoint. Let's say they're 3 games out of a wild card spot right now. Let's say they lose 3 to the Padres, lose a game or 2 to the Rockies, and they're 7 or 8. You don't have as much bargaining chip as if you're a game or 2 out. I think he should be traded either way. But if you're a game or 2 out, you have a little bit more negotiating of offer me a better deal if you want my all-star closer when I'm also in a playoff hunt too.
It's going to be at this point, I can't begin to kind of guess as to what the return on somebody like Helsley will be. Yeah. I have no idea at this point what that looks like, what that return would be, how far away. I mean, it's prospects, how far out a prospect would be in that case.
I'm not sure. I don't know. It's a tough spot. Someone might overpay.
Yeah. And outside of that, again, you mentioned Steven Matz earlier in this, as far as somebody that possibly be. That would be one that he's going to go out there and help a team. I wonder if you just hang on to Phil Maton too. There's a lot of question marks as we are 11 days away now from the possibility of anybody on the Cardinals getting moved here at the deadline. Recapping the game today, as we kind of talked about, lost at 5-3. Ivan Herrera, who came off the IL the day before the All-Star break, and Bat was greatly missed. Again, I mean, it's a high-pressure spot. He's hitting 400 runners in scoring position. Who are we to sit here and rag on him? But there were a lot of missed opportunities where you kind of looked at it and you're like, great, Herrera's up, we're back in the game, and then nothing out of it. So it's one of those where it's coming back down to the norm. At least it did this weekend with Herrera.
Yeah, and there was those opportunities. Obviously, the one that stings is the bases loaded. I mean, anytime the Cardinals have not been in a game in this series and they got close to having a chance and the offense couldn't quite come through. Herrera had some chances. That's what's disappointing here in this one, especially.
Yeah. So that was, again, I mean, it was that was disappointing, but it's one of those where I think it'd be ridiculous to get mad about it in that case. Herrera, hamburger helper, writes out here, had one of the worst swings in history with the bases loaded. I don't think that was with the bases loaded. I think you're talking about after there were the bases were loaded. Donovan grounded out and brought the run in. Herrera was up with second and third and 1 out. That wasn't a great swing and miss. That was the slider got him. On that one, as the slider got a lot of guys in this in the series this week. So, or at least today, the slider for all of the Diamondbacks pitchers got the Cardinals hitters swinging and way off balance.
Yeah, I mean they were mixing up. Merrill Kelly always pitches well against the Cardinals too. That's just it's one of the things that happens.
Somebody had pointed out lefty on the mound for the Rockies tomorrow. That's Austin Gomber, former Cardinal, part of the Nolan Arenado trade a few years ago. I am no longer worried about lefties starting against the Cardinals now that you have Walker back and you have Ivan Herrera back. That's no longer an issue. I think those were the two biggest missing pieces when they went through struggle after struggle after struggle against the lefty. So I think now as you have those guys back, facing a lefty is very welcome. Now, I very much look forward to seeing Jordan Walker and Ivan Herrera hitting against lefties tomorrow, especially against Austin Gomber, especially at Coors Field. Austin Gomber, his numbers this year would look great in the Cardinals rotation of a 5.65 ERA. Just slide him right in there between Fetty and Michaelis to break up the righties a little bit, and see what he could do in that situation. So yeah, the lefty no longer an issue with that, as it had been the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks or so when Herrera was missing. I mean, when Herrera wasn't in there, it was looking really bad. So as we wrap up today, I will say this, and I want your thoughts on it too. If we're playing ahead, if we're looking into if we're looking ahead at this, a sweep against the Rockies. Are you excited again? Are you looking forward? Are you back in? Are you buying in again? Because I will. I 100% will buy back in if they sweep the Rockies these next 3 games.
I would say I'd be intrigued about the Padres series. I don't know if I could fully be bought back in because I feel pretty low right now. I would say if you sweep the Rockies, I would be intrigued. I'd be watching with a mindful eye in that Padres series. Now, if you sweep the Rockies and then let's say you win the series against the Padres in a 4-game set, I'd be pretty bought back in for the following week. Yeah.
That's the schedule coming up ahead. Rockies in Colorado at Coors Field Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then a turnaround to a 4-game series against the Padres back here in St. Louis. Probably won't be as packed as it was this weekend for the Savannah Bananas, but still nonetheless one of the last series in the month of July for the Cardinals against a very good Padres team. Hopefully it's a decent crowd out there in the hot St. Louis summer. That's going to wrap it up for us here on the show today. Back at it again tomorrow with all kinds of Cardinal coverage here on STL Sports Central with the Randy Carricker Show, Cards 365, and a postgame coming your way after the Cardinals and Rockies wrap things up in Denver for Game 1 of 3. He's Grant Salsman. I'm Joe Roderick. That's going to do it for us right here on STL Sports Central. All content brought to you by DraftKings. The crown is yours.